Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Paul Pogba is going to be a big miss for Manchester United. Solkjaer has revealed that Paul Pogba has got a thigh injury and he's going to be out for a few weeks. Paul Pogba did sustain this injury in our 3-3 draw with Everton recently. I think the vast majority of Paul Pogba's performances have been very, very good since he came back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Now, we've recently held talks with Paul Pogba over his future. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insists that Paul Pogba is happy at Manchester United, and Solskjaer recently suggested that Pogba could sign a new contract. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. In recent weeks, he's been linked with a move to PSG. Mini Oriola had been talking with PSG, and it said earlier on this season that Pochettino identified Paul Pogba as his top target. There's been narratives of him possibly going back to Juventus. Paul Pogba did endure 4 exceptional years with Juventus, and swap deals have been high on the agenda, and he's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. Now, there's a chance that Paul Pogba will leave Man United in the summer, but there's also a chance that he will stay at the club, potentially past the summer. Now, last month, it said that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club, and he contradicted his agent Mini Oriola for the second time. Paul Pogba's future is on hold until the end of the season. Now, Paul Pogba's brother, Matthias Pogba, recently gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future. And he said that Paul Pogba could leave for nothing in 2022, which is next year. So he said we need to sell him during the summer if we are to get the money. And he mentioned that Paul Pogba's got no intentions of signing a new contract. So he's actually saying the exact same thing as what Fabrizio Romano said, because Fabrizio Romano said that Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards. And he said that Mini Oriola has been planning a move for Paul Pogba next summer. Now, Mini Oriola made an announcement back in December saying that Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. By the way, Paul Pogba got voted Player of the Month for January, reflecting on that fantastic goal he scored in our 2-1 win against Fulham. He is our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And this is what, 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. He's made over 100 appearances in all competitions. He's won 3 trophies at the club. That's the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. We did have Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. And a few times when we have been playing him recently, we have put him in more of an advanced role. So, yeah. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to make a decision on David De Gea. Now, like I mentioned to you earlier on today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has warned David De Gea that his place is not secure in the Manchester United team. He said nobody's place is safe. He says, they've got to earn their place. And Solskjaer mentioned that Dean Henderson is putting pressure on David De Gea. David De Gea made 2 mistakes in our 3-3 draw with Everton. Effectively, David De Gea cost us that game. Obviously, he palmed it straight to Decore's feet for Everton's first goal. And De Gea was beaten far too easily by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That was obviously Everton's third goal in the 95th minute of stoppage time. Now, in the last couple of years, David De Gea has made a lot of calamitous mistakes. But quite a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. And he has done well in some games this season, and there has been signs that he is slowly getting back to his best. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. Despite the mistakes he made recently, I still think he's going to remain our number 1 for at least this season. But Dean Henderson, I think he's now reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper. Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him, because he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and obviously he's had other loan spells before. He's done well in the games he's played in this season. Was it before the start of this season? Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United. So, yeah. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say after our 3-3 draw with Everton, we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. So, reflect on that, Solskjaer has now disregarded the title. But before he made that admission, Solskjaer wasn't mentioning the title race. He was just taking one game at a time. It looks very, very imminent now that Manchester City are going to win the Premier League. Manchester City beat Liverpool recently 4-1. Obviously, 2 howlers from Alisson. Alisson got a lot of criticism from Liverpool fans. City are 5 points clear of us with a game in hand. Now, if we'd have beaten Everton and if we'd have beaten Sheffield United, I'd have still said, we are in this title race. But, I think we will win another title at some point. Maybe next season we'll win the title, maybe the next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for 8 years. But we should have certainly have beaten Everton. We squandered a 2-goal lead. I thought our performance against Everton in terms of an attacking intent was good, but defensively we was shambolic. And we certainly should have beat Sheffield United, because they're bottom of the league. They've only won, 3 games all season. But yeah, 2 decisions went against us in the 2-1 defeat Sheffield United. Solskjaer revealed that officials admitted that they made 2 mistakes. I think we should have beaten Arsenal as well at the Emirates, because we had very, very good chances in that game. But I can assure that we are going to get the top 4 this season. Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because we haven't won a trophy now for like 4 years. And a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. Now, the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. And the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. I am still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Because I think he's made very, very good progress at Man United in the last year or so. We've been very, very good away from home in the Premier League. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games, and we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We haven't been as good at home though as we have been away, so we do need to adjust our home form a bit more. But there again, we have been winning at home recently. Obviously, we did beat Southampton 9-0 not so long ago. You know, it was the first time we'd scored 9 goals since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995, which was 26 years ago. We obviously beat Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round 3-2. But all our defeats this season have come at Old Trafford. You know, maybe some of it's to do with no fans there because it does have an impact on the players. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row until Sheffield United had beaten us. And I think, you know, like performances have improved. Certain players are improving as well. You know, in some games, Solskjaer's been getting the best out of the team. So yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at Manchester United. That will be his 3rd full season at the club. You know, this is Solskjaer's 2nd full season at the moment. And I did say, you know, this season was always going to be a big season for him. We do deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer because he could have easily have been sacked as Manchester United manager because we have endured bad periods under him. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no discussions over getting Solskjaer a new contract at Man United. Solskjaer's got like, is it 18 months left on his current contract. Like I've said to you on my recent videos, I still think there's things that Solskjaer has got to do at the club. He's got to identify his best 11. Maybe he's got to select the right formation because he's tried quite a few different formations at Man United. In a lot of the games, he's actually gone with that 4-2-3-1. He needs to give Donny van der Beek more opportunities because Donny van der Beek's actually a good player and he needs to get his selections right persistently. Because in a lot of games at Man United, he has been tactically naive, but there's also been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility. But reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience. He's learnt quite a bit on the job. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. And he's managed over 100 games now as Man United manager in all competitions. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. And his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But whether Solskjaer succeeds as Man United manager or not, you know, we'll still always adore him because he's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moment as a player was obviously 1999. Obviously when he won the club the treble. You know, Solskjaer scored late on in the Champions League final. You know, it's the club's greatest achievement is the treble. But yes, Solskjaer's been Man United manager now for over 2 years. And I think this year's summer transfer window is very, very important for Man United, because we do need to make more signings. And it's very imperative that the board back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer transfer window. Like I said to you, it was a disappointing January transfer window for Man United. We only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Traore. You know, we got Amad Traore in a deal worth £37 million. We paid 19 million up front. You know, the rest is add-ons. Amad Traore has made 2 appearances in the under-23. So it won't be too long now till we see him in the first team squad. But yeah, Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. You know, Solskjaer has endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager so far. And, you know, Woodward has obviously promised that he will back Solskjaer. He's come out several times to support him. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. The board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. But even when we was enjoying them bad periods under Ole, you know, the board come out and assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was safe. Like I've said to you, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho. You know the news on David Alaba from Bayern Munich. You obviously know the news on Jules Koundé and Erling Haaland. It recently said that we identified Koundé and Erling Haaland as our 2 top targets for the summer. I've given you the 3 areas where we need to strengthen up. I think we need a world-class striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. So they're the positions Man United, I think, need to strengthen up. And we do need more signings to be genuine title contenders. I think we've also got to start beating some of the top sides in the Premier League, because we have struggled against the top 6 sides in the Premier League this season. But to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. And I've also got to mention that he has made good signings, despite our reluctance to back him with transfers. Solskjaer has spent over £200 million at the club. You know, he must have brought around 10 senior players in. You know, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri in, and he brought Amad Traore in. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he did assure that everybody would get their chances, including the young players, and they have. And I do like the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promoted the youth. You know, the young players have been given their chances, and he's also recommended more young players into the club. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. You know, he's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season. He got us qualification for the Champions League. Also got us 3rd, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. You know, so he does deserve credit. Despite our 3-3 draw of Everton, though, we are still in a good position. You know, we are still sitting 2nd in the league. And no one actually expects us to be second at this stage of the season. Was actually very, very poor earlier on this season. And Solskjaer has been criticised a lot as Man United manager. At the first part of last season was very, very poor, because we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. Don't forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras, isn't he? Since Ferguson left, we've spent over £1 billion on players, and we've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. We've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club. But it's just good that we're seeing consistency now under Solskjaer, because we didn't see consistency for a long time. We'd been playing catch-up for the last, 7.5 years. Solskjaer's not going to do what Ferguson did at the club, but no manager at Man United, or no manager in general, is going to achieve what Sir Alex Ferguson achieved. Ferguson endured 27 years with us. He won a total of 38 major honours, something like that anyway, and that included 13 Premier League titles. Ferguson didn't settle in straight away though, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United, did he? Before Ferguson was inconsistent as well, because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson. We certainly weren't good under Franco Farrell. Got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974, which is 40 odd years ago now, is it? And weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. So if Ferguson had been sacked in any time in that 4-year period when he didn't win anything, we wouldn't have hardly had any success, because Ferguson brought the success to the club. Now obviously we do play West Ham tomorrow night in the FA Cup 5th round. I've already given you my preview for the game. I recently give you my starting 11 prediction. And I give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference building up to the game earlier on today. Like I said, during the press conference, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was asked about the fitness of Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba. Obviously, Bailly has recently been out with injury. Also asked, if he considers resting Harry Maguire at some point. He also assesses the progress of Mason Greenwood and Dean Henderson that they've made over the last few months. So yeah, and Solskjaer does expect a tough game against West Ham. We progressed to the 5th round of the FA Cup by obviously beating Watford in the 3rd round 1-0, and we beat Liverpool in the 4th round 3-2. We beat West Ham in the league earlier on this season 3-1. We come from behind in that game. The last time we played West Ham in the FA Cup was back in 2016. We beaten them in the quarter-finals 2-1. And like I mentioned on the preview, we've got a good home record in the FA Cup. I think we must have won our last 9, is it, in the competition at home. The last time we lost at Old Trafford in the FA Cup was to Swansea back in 2015, was it? We did lose 2-1. We are the second most successful team in FA Cup history. We have won 12 FA Cups. The last time we won the FA Cup was back in 2016. Under the Louis van Gaal era. And West Ham, like I said, they're enjoying a good season. And David Moyes is doing very, very well in his second spell with West Ham. And tomorrow night, he's going to be reuniting with Manchester United. Yeah, we did have Moyes for 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. We actually finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. You know, Moyes has made quite a few signings in his second spell at West Ham. Obviously, Moyes brought Solkjaer in, and Solkjaer has made a fantastic impact at West Ham. Don't forget he got sent off in West Ham's 0-0 draw with Fulham recently. He also brought Vladimir Kufal in. He brought Frederick Ibsen in. Obviously he brought Ben Rama in. West Ham did get him on loan at the first, but earlier on this year they got him permanently. Moyes also brought Craig Dawson in on loan from Watford. And recently brought Jesse Lingard in on loan. I actually think, West Ham could get him permanently. Lingard did score twice on his debut for West Ham in their 3-1 win against Aston Villa not so long ago. Lingard won't be able to play in this game tomorrow night because obviously it is his parent club. So they're the players that David Moyes has brought in his second spell. West Ham have got some good players though in their team. They've obviously got that Mark Noble. Mark Noble's been at West Ham for several years, but I think he's had a good career with West Ham, Mark Noble. They've also got that Pablo Fornals, who I like. He's good. They've got Mikel Antonio. He's good as well. Lanzini. He's one of their key players. They've also got that Jared Bowen. As you all know, I do like Declan Rice a lot. Don't forget, we're interested in Declan Rice. And it did actually say that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million. But initially, West Ham value him at £80 million. But it said from ESPN earlier on this season that we were set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is only young. He's still got a lot of development in him. He's well proven in the Premier League and, he breaks up the play well, Declan Rice. West Ham have got a very, very good left-back in Aaron Cresswell. I think Aaron Cresswell is regarded as like the third best left-back in the Premier League. They've also got that Issa Diop, who's a very, very good centre-half. They've got Ryan Fredericks. I think he's a right-back. They've got 2 injuries of West Ham. They've got Musa Arku out and they've got Randolph out with injury. West Ham have let quite a few players go. They let that Sebastian Haller go. I think West Ham made a mistake by getting rid of him because I think he made an impact at West Ham. They also let Felipe Anderson go. They let Grady Diagana go. They let Robert Snodgrass go. They let Winston Reid go as well. So yeah, they have let a few players go. West Ham have won the FA Cup 3 times. The last time they won the FA Cup was 41 years ago. I think the last time West Ham beaten us at Old Trafford was back in 2007 when Carlos Tevez scored the only goal of the game. West Ham progressed to the 5th round of the Cup by beating Stockport in the 3rd round, and obviously they beat Doncaster in the 4th round. So I am really, really looking forward to the game. Our next game in the league is West Brom. We should be winning that because West Brom are a very, very poor team. And then after West Brom, it's Real Sociedad in the Europa. That's going to be a tough game. And then after that, it is Newcastle. And obviously Chelsea's coming up at the end of this month. So there you go. But like I say, there has been players improving at Man United, like I say, you know, Luke Shaw's improving, Fred's improving, Wan-Bissaka's improving. You know, Bay's done well in the games he's played. And, you know, Rashford's really improving. You know, Pogba's done very well. So we have got a good team. It's certainly good enough to finish at least in the top 4. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.